too. I don't blame you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Wil Mara, and this is the draft.
And once again, folks, on
we don't mean a
NFL,
bad wind or anything. This is the draft.
on NFL,
This is it.
draftmag.com, NFL business blog, NFLbiz.com,
And video too, right there.
and video on Ustream, and fieldposition.com is once again our old buddy Wil Mara, author of The Draft. But his second book is coming out, The Cut, and it'll be out in October
17th, I believe.
And Will, tell us a little more about The Cut.
Well, whereas The Draft is a novel, even though it's a novel, it's about the draft. It takes place within the NFL draft. The Cut takes place in training camp. You know, each book in the group, I want to focus on something different within the league, something that, you know, some kind of league thing, like rebuilding a team or like cutting a contract, you know, something like that. The first one, obviously, is about the draft. The second one is about the player cut at the end of training camp. And the great bulk of the novel takes place in those weeks during training camp.
Yeah, this is the V series. You have the draft, the cut. What is next in the V series?
The book right now has a tentative title called The Comeback. And that could change, but we all like the title. My agent likes it, my editor likes it, I like it, so that's probably what it's going to stick with. We may change it, but yeah, the thing with the word thought, no, he's had enough comebacks. He's had his fair share of comebacks. You can come back, and then you can come back, and then you got to just go, you know what, I'm done coming back. I think they're all probably going to start with just because it seems to fit with the series.
Makes sense.
It's intentional, but it's not. I mean, when I did the draft, I didn't do it with the idea that they would all be that way, but it sort of fits. It worked out, so we thought.
The V series. They have the end.
Exactly. The what?
They can have the end.
That depends on the readers. That has nothing to do with
new beginnings.
The new beginning.
This whole series is a new beginning. You know, as long as people keep liking them and reading them, we'll keep writing them.
Well, you're an author of
draft
over 80 books.
Yeah. How was the draft been received?
It's done fine. We sold the paperback rights right away. The paperback comes out in August. It went up, you know, since I started doing more media appearances. It's gone up in Amazon ranking and in, you know, in bookstores and so forth, and it stayed there. So it must be doing all right. You know, the core thing is just to get the word out. I think football fans will enjoy it. I think the trick is just getting people to know that it's there. Because, you know, I mean, anywhere you go in the world now, you go on television or anyplace else, you're getting hit with so much advertising everywhere you look.
Yeah,
there's so much noise, so you got to break through the noise. Exactly, you got to rise above the noise. The hardest thing is just getting people to know that it's there. It was written for football fans. I'm a football fan, lifelong, and these are the kind of novels I'd like to see.
Are you gonna not mobilize this, make it into a screenplay?
Well, yeah, we're in discussion with two different outfits right now to see about doing exactly that, but I don't want to give any more details until something's firm, because it's one of those things where you say, oh yeah, it's going to happen, and it doesn't, you look like an idiot. Yeah. It's like, I'll come out with that information if it happens, and if it doesn't, we'll try it with the next book. And hopefully, as the series builds a readership, gets more popular and people enjoy it more, it's going to be harder and harder for film and movie producers to say no. So it's just the first book in the series,
right.
So I mean, if they say no now, that doesn't mean no forever.
Right. Will, you're an author of over 80 books now.
Yeah.
You got your start as an editor at HarperCollins.
No, at Harcourt.
At Harcourt, I'm sorry. You've done over 50 children's books. How long were you researching the NFL series before you actually got a firm commitment from St. Martin's?
Well, I started developing the idea for the series in the late 90s, and I hadn't approached St. Martin's yet. And I started writing the first one, and I thought, you know what, this doesn't follow my normal procedure. But what I'm going to do is I'll write the whole thing and try and make it as good as possible. A lot of inside research, a lot of detail, a lot of accuracy. And then I'm going to go to publishers and say, there's a million NFL fans. There are no NFL novels. The fiction publishing industry has really disregarded football fans forever.
Why is that?
There's a lot of theories on it. I don't know for sure. I don't know. Sports fiction, to be fair to the editors and publishing.
Is it pseudo-intelligentsia? You know, I'm intelligent, therefore I'm not interested in sports. Is that the garbage?
I think that's part of it. I have had editors say to me, you know, football fans don't read. And my argument back is, what about all the content on SI? What about on ESPN.com, on your site? What about Sports Illustrated, which has been print since it's on the time?
My argument is writers in the world.
My argument is, football fans and other sports fans do love to read. Just there aren't enough people giving them anything to read.
Right.
I thought that was the truth here.
So
but that
tell
works
the editor
to my
next
advantage.
time. Tell the editor next time. Book editors don't read sports.
Hey, folks. we read.
Exactly. And these people are so knowledgeable. Your average fan is so knowledgeable that also blows out of the water the theory of sports fans. You know, they're not bright. They only read comic books. They only watch television. I'm like, these people are all wrong. I know they're wrong, and I'm going to prove it. So I write this, I come up with a marketing proposal, you know, these are the number of fans there are, I think they like these books. I'm a fan, I'd like to see these books on the shelf, and I don't, so I wrote it myself. And finally, in 2003, it's actually a funny story.
So you really wrote this thing for yourself?
Well, I'm a football fan, and I thought, I'm a football fan and I'd like it, and so there are lots of other football fans, so what are the odds that no one else would like it?
Yeah.
So what happened was, I sent it to a bunch of publishers, nobody would touch it, sports fiction's a hard sell. I put it away for a while, wrote some other stuff, and then in 2003, I said to my wife, I'm going to clean up the manuscript, take it back out of my hard drive, tighten it up, and I'm going to send it to the 10 biggest publishers in the world. And then if they all turn it down, that's it, it's dead. An editor from St. Martin's Press called me up and said, I see what you're trying to do here. I understand what you're trying to do with the series. I like what you're trying to do. Let's develop it together, and then we'll see if I'll give you a contract and we'll commit to it. And I thought, okay, great. And then I didn't hear from him for 2 more years.
Oh my God.
2 more years go by, and I thought, as a matter of fact, a month before I heard from them, I'm driving home from Pennsylvania with my wife, and I said, you know, that it's a shame about that NFL series. That would have been cool. That would have been a cool series. And then a month later, I get a phone call.
Isn't that Bray London down there?
Where?
Walking down there?
Over there?
That guy. No, that guy. That brother. Isn't that Bray London Edwards walking down there?
Tell our assistant to go chase him.
Yeah.
That's not what I told you.
No.
That was Bray London Edwards. This is Bray London Edwards. Bill, wake up. That's Bray London Edwards.
I'm not paying attention to that.
You should be.
Paying attention.
Cleveland Browns wide receiver Bray London Edwards is going down there. We ought to get him.
So what happened was St. Martin's then just called me out of the blue one day and said, "Do you still have a manuscript?" And I said, "Yeah." And they said, "Well, let's take one more look at it." They looked at it, called me a week later and said, "We'd like to do it. We'd like to go ahead with the series." So it took a good probably 4 or 5 years just to get from that step of finishing the project to getting a publisher to agree to do it. So I mean, a lot of things, but it doesn't matter now, I guess.
How long did it take you to write the second cut?
8 months. 8 months. But the research had been going on for a long time.
Right.
There was so much bottleneck material from developing it all these years that the writing actually turns out to be the last part of it. Everything else is
research. How do you get the information?
It's piece by piece. I always compare it to putting together like a 400-piece puzzle, 500-piece puzzle, where you talk to different people and each person gives you a different piece, and then sooner or later you end up with a full picture. I don't, at the beginning I know what I need, but then as I go writing along, I might need other things, or the stuff in the beginning changes. It changes right to the end. I mean, sometimes I'm still checking facts right to the end. As long as they're right at the end when it's done, it's all right. But it's not a neat process. It's a very messy process. Ever changing, a lot of impromptu, a lot of it's everything at the last moment, but improv. But like I said, as long as what the reader gets in their hand is correct, that's all.
For the purpose of our video, congratulations on your book.
Thank you very much. Thanks again, Will. Thank you for having me.
Don't go anywhere. I just have to,
Also, thank you for letting me hawk it.